Hello, and welcome to today's adventure. I am in one of the most famous cities in the world, London. Join me as I spend a whole day exploring some of its most iconic landmarks, learning about its history, and meeting people along the way. Arrival at Tower of London. It's early in the morning, and I have just arrived at the Tower of London. The sun is still rising, casting a golden glow on the ancient walls. I can see the River Thames flowing gently by the side. As I walk towards the entrance, I meet a friendly tourist guide. He smiles and says, "Good morning. Are you here to learn about the history of the tower?" I nod and reply, "Yes, I've heard it's a place full of stories. From kings and queens to prisoners and treasures." The guide begins to tell me about the Tower of London's history. It was built in 1066 by William the Conqueror, and over the years, it has served many purposes. A royal palace, a prison, and even a place to keep the crown jewels. Did you know that the Tower of London has its own set of guards called the Yeoman Warders, or Beefeaters? I laugh at the name and say, "Beefeaters? That's a funny name. Why are they called that?" The guide explains that many years ago, these guards were given beef as part of their daily meals, and the name stuck. After spending some time at the tower, I decide to move on to my next stop, the famous Buckingham Palace. As I walk through the streets, I can see the iconic red double-decker buses passing by. I decide to hop on one to reach Buckingham Palace. It's a short ride, and soon, I'm standing in front of the grand gates. The palace is huge, and there are so many people waiting to see the famous changing of the guard. The guards wear bright red coats and tall black hats, standing still like statues. I wonder how they can stay so still. Suddenly, I hear the sound of marching. The changing of the guard ceremony begins, and it's an amazing sight. The guards move with perfect precision, switching their positions as tourists snap pictures. I decide to walk closer to the palace gates. I imagine what it must be like to live inside. Does the queen have breakfast in one of those big rooms? How does it feel to live in a place full of history? I ask a local man standing next to me, "Do people really see the queen here?" "Man, sometimes, if you're lucky, you can see her waving from her window." I look up at the windows, hoping to catch a glimpse, but no luck today. After spending some time taking photos, it's time to move on. Next, I head to Hyde Park, one of London's largest and most beautiful parks. As I enter, I'm surrounded by green trees, flowers, and a large lake. The park is full of people, some walking their dogs, others sitting on benches, enjoying the sunshine. I find a quiet spot near the Serpentine Lake and sit down for a rest. The water looks calm, and I can see small boats floating peacefully. While sitting, I notice a group of people having a picnic nearby. They are laughing and speaking in English, and I try to understand what they're saying. It's a great chance to practice listening. One of them sees me and waves. "Hello, would you like to join us?" they ask. I smile and say, "Thank you. I'm just enjoying the view, but it's nice to see so many people relaxing here." The friendly group waves goodbye as they continue their picnic, and I decide it's time to continue my journey. My next stop is the iconic Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. As I approach Big Ben, the huge clock tower comes into view. It's even more impressive in person than in the pictures. The clock strikes noon, and the famous bells ring loudly. I walk closer to the Houses of Parliament. Admiring the stunning architecture, the building looks like something out of a fairy tale, with its tall towers and beautiful carvings. I overhear a couple of tourists talking about the history of Big Ben. One of them says, "Did you know Big Ben isn't the name of the clock? It's actually the name of the bell inside." I join their conversation and say, "Really? I had no idea." It's amazing how much history is here in London. Tourist, yes. And the Houses of Parliament are where all the important decisions for the country are made. As I walk along the River Thames, I can't help but feel amazed by the history and beauty of London. From the ancient tower to the modern city skyline, there's so much to see and learn. Next, I decide to visit Covent Garden, a lively area full of shops, cafes, and street performers. As I walk through the market, I see a magician performing tricks. A crowd has gathered, and everyone is laughing and clapping. I stop to watch for a while. The magician pulls a coin from behind a young boy's ear, and the boy's face lights up with surprise. After the performance, I visit one of the small cafes for a cup of tea. I sit by the window, watching people walk by. Some are tourists like me, while others are locals going about their day. It's getting late, and I realize I've seen so much of London in just one day. From the historic Tower of London to the lively streets of Covent Garden, this city is full of surprises, but there's still so much more to explore. So, that was my day exploring the wonderful city of London. I visited historic landmarks, learned fascinating stories, and even met some friendly people along the way. It was not only a great travel experience, but also a chance to improve my English skills by talking to locals and observing everything around me. Now, let's reflect on what we've learned today. What was your favorite part of the story? Which landmark would you like to visit the most? How can learning English help you travel to new places? Thank you for joining me on this journey through London. Each experience was not only a lesson in history but also an opportunity to improve my English skills. And there you have it, fun and easy ways to practice English without leaving your home. Whether you're reading, listening, or speaking, consistency is the key to improvement. Make English a part of your daily routine, and you'll see great progress in no time. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips and stories. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.